So my ring light that I use for content broke. The wires came off. And so I was gonna go to Walmart to get a new one. But I was like, instead of spending the 30 bucks on a new ring light, I'll just spend $6 on a soldering iron and fix this bitch myself. Granted, I don't have any solder. I don't have the metal and I don't have the lube. I did this like tech class when I was back in high school. I did like vocational school. So I've soldered before and you use like this lube stuff it does. So I don't know, hopefully it'll work. I plan on just reusing the solder that's already on this. Just tiny wires, so it should be all right. We'll see if we can do this. Save me some money. Okay, black is negative, red is positive, but let me double check the side that it goes on just to make sure. Yep, you see that light lighting up, so just gotta attach it to those. It's getting hot quick, so it should be good on that here soon. Okay, that is connected but pretty shittily, so let me see if I can make that better. And it just might do for now. Doesn't gotta be perfect, you know? Just gotta be delicate with it. Okay, let's go. Connected. Bang, bang. $6 instead of 30. There we go. On some thug shit.
Negativity. You see one-sidedly. Burn away the day. Wash away your soul. Take us with the extinguishing the sun. Wash away man, take him with the flood.
Holy shit, it's bright as hell out with the snow on the ground. But I'm gonna go to a coffee shop and study some Japanese for about an hour. And then while I'm over on that side of town, I'm gonna swing by the Goodwill. Got some stuff I'm gonna donate, as well as see if I can thrift some stuff. If you're a dude and you go thrifting, you know that Goodwill does not ever have a good guy selection, but every now and then you can find some heat, so we'll see. We at Conan's. This place is fire. They have donuts, they have coffee. They also have a bunch of other like little snack stuff, and I swear the prices haven't changed since like 1960, bro. You can get a donut and a large coffee for like $6. It's sick. Hello. Would I be able to do a large s'mores latte? And can I do oat milk instead of regular milk?
You said s'mores?
Yes, please.
Oat milk?
Yes, please.
You want that hot or cold?
Hot, please. Thank you. hour or 5 minutes of studying. Let's go to the Goodwill. Goodwill, baby. Okay, I know I came here for clothes, but I kind of want to check out the knickknacks first. They got some cool little things, some little trinkets. All right, there wasn't anything that caught my eye, so let's see if they got some clothes. What do you think about these pants? These are nice. Green material, Lee. Nice green color. $8. I think that's a buy. What do we think about this? It's kind of tough. As you can see, I'm really drawn to green clothes, but I have a lot of green polos, so I low-key don't need another one, but it's kind of hard. That's really the only thing you're gonna get here in the guy section is polo shirts. Not a lot of street fashion going on. Same thing with the pants. You're gonna get jeans and dress pants. Like this was a good find. I'll pass on that. I'll pass on that. I would like it if it was a little bit baggier, but I'll hold on to it. It's a maybe. Okay, here's the haul. I got a Led Zeppelin CD, $2. Hell yeah. And then I'll show you what I got for me first. I ended up getting that shirt. It's a thicker shirt. I like the colors, very neutral colors, solid. And then I got those green pants that you saw at the beginning. Bang, bang. And then I also got this like sweatshirt thing because it's Vineyard Vines. It's too small for me, but I think it'll sell on Depop. And then I also got these yellow girl pants, which I just thought were fire and will sell on Depop. So I haven't done Depop for a while, but I went through this bag of clothes that I had that I thought I was just gonna donate, and I realized that it was actually clothes that I got with my ex when we were doing thrifting a bunch and she was doing Depop a lot. And I was like, damn, a lot of these clothes can sell on Depop. So I'm gonna have to start that back up, make a little bit of extra money. I'll just have super cheap prices and hopefully they'll sell. But yeah, that's the haul. So I got a shirt and I got a pair of pants. Hell yeah, and a CD. Now I'm gonna go hoop and I'm gonna work out, but I'm not gonna have that on video. I think I'm just gonna do a little talk and then that'll be the end of the vlog. So I was thinking about this scene from Adventure Time earlier. Do y'all know that scene where Jake throws out his favorite mug out the window and he was like, that was literally my favorite mug? And I don't remember what he says after that, but basically he's like, and I don't care, like it is what it is. So I want to talk, that scene was kind of running through my head, and I want to talk about self-imposed suffering. Obviously the external world in reality can be really hard, and by no means am I discrediting anybody's or invalidating anybody's hardship or anybody's suffering. Although I think it's a well-known philosophy in the spiritual space and also just in like philosophy in general, I guess, is that a lot of suffering is from ourselves and from our mind. And, you know, just thinking about that scene, like someone, if they lost their favorite cup, they would be really distraught. They would be like emotionally hurt. They would be like burdened by that. And honestly, it's hard not to be when you lose things. You know, when you lose your favorite shirt, when you lose your favorite animal, when you lose your favorite person. It's hard. It is hard. But I think you can make it a lot harder on yourself. Or you can make it a lot easier on yourself and take it, you know, as a lesson or as an opportunity. However it frames out for you. But I think this idea of self-imposed suffering can help so many people and actively helps me get through things in my life. Is that a lot of the anguish that I might feel towards something is self-imposed. You know, for example, I really hate work. I'm gonna be honest. I've never liked work. The only job I've ever had that I even semi-enjoyed was being a server. And I've worked a lot of jobs. And they all suck. I hate the idea of spending my time doing something that I don't want to do and that I don't feel is fulfilling. You know what I mean? Obviously, if I had a job that felt super fulfilling, like, I don't know, something with the environment, or hypothetically if like hiking was my job, or maybe personal training, then it would be a different story. But just like a regular 9 to 5 or just a job that you do simply because you have to make money, you have to survive, it eats away at me. And so I can put a lot of put myself through a lot of self-imposed suffering when it comes to work, because I just know that I could be doing so many other things with my time. But something I've been doing is reframing my idea of work and kind of seeing it as a tool to get me to where I want to go. Unfortunately, we have to make money. And if I want to do any of the things that I want to do in my life, like travel, see the world, you know, that's pretty much that. Then I need money. I need money to do that. And if I utilize this tool in the time being, then it's like a stepping stone to get to where I want to be. And so it's kind of made work a little bit better. And also it's just not thinking about it. Like that's also a way of getting away from the self-imposed suffering, is just not allowing yourself to linger on the thought. Have to let it linger. You know, and like I went through a breakup about 3 months ago, approaching 4 months, I think. And, you know, we were together for almost 3 years, and it ended really abruptly, and it ended in a way that felt very, what's the word? Undeserving, if that's the right way to put it. But regardless, what a lot of people will tell you when you're going through a breakup is to focus on yourself. You know what I mean? To just focus on yourself, do what you want to do. And basically what that is like, yes, you don't want to just distract yourself from hard emotions. You don't want to just distract yourself from heavy feelings. That's not healthy in and of itself. But at the same time, you don't want to sit there and linger on things that no longer serve you. You don't want to sit there and linger on what could have happened, what if, all these hypotheticals, all these fantasies, all this non-reality. And I think that's what grounding practice, I speak in a lot of tangents, you're going to realize that. So hopefully you can keep up. But I think that's what, like, when you do grounding practices, like when somebody's having an anxiety attack, whatever, they tell you to focus on your breathing, they tell you to identify certain things around you. What do you feel? Like, it's bringing you into the present moment, because your mind is so fixated on the future, on the past, on the what if, on patterns you picked up on before, and it's just this loop happening in your brain where it is causing this anxiety, and it's causing this suffering, it's causing this anguish, whereas in reality you're okay. For the most part, you're all right. If you can kind of overcome that negative thought cycle by pulling yourself into the present or focusing on things that are more aligned, if that's the term I want to use. It's hard, honestly. It's hard to balance being overly optimistic and only focusing on the positive side of things, because I don't think that's always healthy either. Like, I think a lot of like the people who put on the face of being really, really happy are actually really, really sad, and they have a lot of repressed emotions that they haven't worked through, as everybody does. It's just a human thing. But at the same time, there's this idea of detachment, and kind of like with the Jake throwing his favorite cup out of the window. You know, you lose your favorite person, whatever it is, that was not you. Your value is not derived from that thing. Your value is not derived from that person wanting you. Your value is not derived from being successful at this thing. You are as valuable. Well, first off, I personally believe you're valuable as it is, but you're as valuable as you think you are. And if you think that you're high value, or if you think that you're enough, then it's going to release a lot of this weight from you. You're not going to constantly feel like you have to achieve. You're not going to constantly feel like you're behind. You're not going to constantly feel like you're lacking. Because I think this dude named Bashar, I don't know if you know who that is, but I see little clips of him on TikTok. But he says, like, his definition of abundance is to have what you need when you need it. And I feel like a lot of us do, but we can get really caught up in what we need in the future, or you know, things we think we need, but we don't actually need. But anywho, on this self-imposed suffering kind of thing, I feel it a lot as well when it comes to going to do certain tasks. For example, like I mentioned this during one of my first cold plunge videos, but thinking about getting into the ice bath is actually a lot more burdensome than actually doing the ice bath. Being inside of the tub is not that bad. It is cold, of course, like you know, whatever, but like it's getting over the hump of getting in that is low-key the hardest part. And it's the same thing with like studying Japanese. Like I went and studied, I always like put off studying Japanese. I'm like, that's what I should be doing, and you know, whatever. And then I just don't do it. I literally just don't do it. And then when I actually do sit down and do it, I get lost in it. I study, you know what I'm saying? I'm not like doing it isn't so anxiety inducing. It's thinking about doing it. It is literally that self-imposed suffering. There's a lot of examples that you can think of when it comes to this idea of self-imposed suffering. But essentially, you don't want to be your own downfall, or you don't want to have the wheels just spinning in your head and not being able to control the vehicle. You know, one of the things with maybe Buddhism, maybe spirituality, whatever it is just think about thoughts as leaves floating on a river, and to just let them pass by. You don't have to apply your energy and your attention to every thought that enters your head. You don't have to have a conversation in every thought that enters your head. Have you guys ever heard that your body can't tell the difference between what is fantasized and what is actually experienced? And it's kind of saying like all of those little arguments you have in your head that like haven't happened, or like what you think you should have said, or what if this happens, like all of this thing, like your nervous system maybe like doesn't know that that's not real, and you actually feel like you know, you can get worked up about just your head. You're sitting there in the shower and you like start thinking about an argument with someone or something, and you know, you feel the chemical effects of that. And I go through cycles of being really good at detachment, and cycles of really having to work at it, really having to work at not drowning myself in my head, because I'm a very like, my mind works very fast. I've always been like a quick learner. I've always been a quick thinker. There's a lot of thoughts going on at all times, and I can't attach myself to all of those thoughts. If I attach my energy and if I attach my identity to those thoughts, then I will be suffering. I will literally be suffering. So mental detachment has been a big theme in my life, I suppose. But like I said, it's really hard to have that balance between, you don't want to be overly detached to where, you know, it's just bleak and nothing matters, and you're, because there's a difference between being detached from something and repressing your emotions and acting like it doesn't bother you, acting like it doesn't faze you. Of course, if something incites emotions, you don't just repress them and push them away. You feel those emotions, and there can be some analyzing going on, but you don't want to overanalyze. You don't want to, oh well, my light just went off. Give me a second. I feel like the lighting looks different now. Anywho, yeah, you don't want to overanalyze it. I feel like the best way for me to talk about this is to talk about it in terms of the breakup, in terms of breaking up with someone. Everybody's been through a breakup. You know how hard it is, and you know that it can linger for months and months and months, and sometimes years, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of it is dependent on how much you let it linger, how much you let those thoughts burden you, versus feeling those emotions, coming to terms with those emotions, giving yourself the closure to accept what happened, and then moving on. It really is a self-loving thing to be able to move on from something, to move on from a breakup, to move on from a loss. You know, like if someone dies, you grieve them. Of course you grieve them, and you're going to be sad for a while, and you feel that sadness. But eventually you have to go on with your life, right? Eventually you have to continue living. You have to, you know, you don't want to just be bedridden all day. You want to achieve things. You want to experience things. You want to live. And if you're constantly putting the value of the present, if you're constantly diminishing the value of your time on earth, diminishing the value of the present moment because it doesn't have this person in it or this thing in it, or you don't feel fulfilled because you don't have this, you know, financially, then you're going to be suffering more than you need to be. And if you can let go of that weight of the world, that weight of what people think about you, that weight of needing to be validated by other people, or just needed to be validated externally, if you can let go of that weight, then literally you feel it. You feel the world lighter. You see the world through a different lens. I think a good way to think about this is like financially. I can resonate with that a lot. Like I've always been, for the most part, financially burdened. Like even when I was a kid, I would feel how heavy being poor is, and not having the money to do the things you want to do, or to even do the things you need to do. And obviously coming into adulthood, I felt that in a more firsthand kind of manner. And I think about it like debt. Debt can be very heavy. And it's like, there has been a period, I'm still in debt. There's been a period in my time where like, I almost couldn't be happy because I knew I hadn't paid off my debt. You know what I mean? Like no matter what I did, there was still that weight in the back. And that's all mental. That's not real weight. That's not real emotional. Okay, it is emotional baggage, but you know what I mean? It's not like actually affecting me personally. Like it's not, I don't know how to explain it. It's not real. It's just all in my head. It's all in my head. You know, I think a lot of people can relate to that in terms of finances, which that one's a tough one because it's really correlated to survival. You know, if you don't have the food, or if you don't think you're gonna be able to pay rent, you're not gonna have your shelter, whatever it is. So that one's a tough one. But if you can understand what I'm saying in terms of like, I should still be able to enjoy my day to day, especially if it's something that I'm working towards. Even though I was taking progressive steps to, you know, close out that financial cycle, it was still very burdensome. It's like I hadn't done it yet. You know, I still have that debt. I need to work more, and I hate work, and it was just compounding on itself. And recently I've done a really good job of releasing that weight. Also, not having a girlfriend, I tend to have more money. I'm kind of over giving, especially in a relationship. And I don't think she really understood the financial burden that I was feeling. I expressed it for sure, but I don't think the weight that I felt was fully understood. Anywho, but now it's like I'm still in debt, and I'm working towards, you know, slowly paying it off. But like, shit just feels lighter. I don't know. It just doesn't, I haven't been like allowing that to keep me down. So there's a lot of avenues that you can apply this self-imposed suffering thing to, but I think like moral of the story is that a lot of suffering is self-imposed. And if you allow yourself to ruminate on things, or if you allow yourself to hold on to emotional weight, the only person that can get rid of that is you. There's nothing that is gonna, you know, bring that person back, or you can't rely on an external validation to free yourself from those shackles, if that makes any sense. You have to have the grace and the love for yourself. Honestly, like it's a big self-love thing. Like it feels so cliche, and like, I don't know, it feels weird to say, but like genuinely, like, forgive yourself for being in that position. Forgive the other person for putting you in that position. Or just let go. Just let go. Once you are aware of that, you'll catch yourself getting in those thought cycles. You'll catch yourself getting in those patterns of thinking. Like I catch myself thinking about hypotheticals regarding the relationship, and it's like I'll catch myself thinking about it, and then I'll be like, bro, stop. You're getting worked up over a fantasy, over like something that isn't real, over words that weren't even said, over something that potentially will never happen. You know what I mean? Like a conversation that will never happen. So why would I feel this burden? Why would I feel this weight when it's not real? It's not actually here in my present moment. So I don't know. I know that was a lot, but hopefully somebody understood what I was trying to say, and hopefully that resonated with someone. But I think you can lift a lot of weight off of your shoulders if you understand that a lot of suffering is self-imposed. And you'll realize where things trigger you. Like, why does this elicit that emotion? You know, is there an insecurity there? Another example of this is my ex would get so worked up about like somebody, like a dude commenting something weird on her social media posts. Excuse me. And she did like social media influencing. So like, it's inevitable that people are going to comment things. It's inevitable that people are going to hate on you. It's inevitable that people are going to be weird. And whenever like dudes would comment like weird things, like it would affect her. And I would always be like, why are you letting that, like, why does that matter? What does it matter what they say? Like that, what does it matter? And that was kind of somewhere that we butted heads, because I didn't want to perpetuate that mindset of being affected by that. And what she wanted was validation from me that, yeah, that is weird, and yeah, that does suck. So although I understand both sides, what I want to say regarding this topic of self-imposed suffering is, what does it matter what somebody comments on your thing? What does it matter what somebody else thinks of you? What is it, especially when you're putting yourself out there? I mean, I do social media. I've had people comment weird things and comment mean things. And life's a lot better when you don't let that get to you. Life's a lot better and you pursue the things you want to do when you don't let other people's opinions stop you from doing so. So, yeah, I think that's about it. Little message to myself. I hope you can keep up with doing YouTube videos. I think, especially with this new TikTok ownership thing, I'm going to be stepping away from TikTok. Like I said, I'm still going to be posting on there, but YouTube is one of those things that I've constantly told myself to do, but it takes a lot more effort. It's a more long-term, or not long-term, long-form content, you know? Easier to make short-form content. And this takes a lot of like preparation and also a lot of public recording, which also one of the things about self-imposed suffering is who gives a fuck what people in public think about you? Who gives a fuck if they look at you weird? Who gives an absolute shit? Like, you're doing what you want to do, so just do it. Got it, bro? All right. See you guys. Thanks for watching the video.